Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and with the first sneak peek out and it being pretty clear that we're getting a Red Skull uniform, I thought, what better time than now to overreact to Red Skull getting a uniform and waste resources ranking him up and maxing him out. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Now, just as a forewarning, in case you can't tell through the thick sarcasm, this is not a good idea. Unless you have the resources that I have, or you're as reckless as I am, or you have a YouTube channel, you probably should not be investing into characters before they get their reworks, because we don't know. We never know how good a character is going to be. It was the Cosmic Cube, by the way. I don't know why I said Tesseract. Anyways, we have no idea how good a character is going to be after they get their rework. There's no way of knowing. Hopefully Marvel Future Fight gets it right, but there's always the chance that they don't get it right and that they get it wrong, which is tragic. Okay, wow, CTP of Patience. We're going to keep the CTP of Patience. But yeah, so because of that, I don't recommend doing this, but I'm going to do it because it's fun and because you guys love seeing me waste my resources. And I have almost 60,000. I have almost 60,000 black antimatter, so why the hell not? And in the meantime, I mean, there will be some people, regardless of what I'm saying now, there will be some people who will rank up their Red Skull and max him out because, you know, maybe they have a decent amount of resources and also perhaps they really love the character. No doubt, no doubt. If you really love Red Skull, if you've been waiting for Red Skull to get a rework for ages, you know, some people really like Red Skull for whatever reason, then yeah, go ahead, do it up. There were people in the YouTube comments saying that on the sneak peek, they're really excited about Red Skull getting a rework finally. So I do think that for those people it makes sense, but for the vast majority of players, just see what I do, see how he ends up here, and then this will be a good benchmark as well for this will be a good benchmark as well for his power level when he gets reworked. So that'll be a good thing to be able to, oh, beautiful, to be able to see the difference between the character before and after. I don't know why my nose is itchy. Maybe because my body knows that this is a bad idea. It's like, no, dude, you need to stop. Invisible Woman at Storm, sure. We're almost there. And then we're gonna have to take a look at the rest of the build and see. You know what? Maybe we should start using Chaos Nornstones. Wait, were we at 58,000? No, we weren't. We did not just spend 8,000 black antimatter. That's impossible. Okay, I think I said 60,000, but I was wrong. I think I just misread the amount. It must have been 51.8, and I just skipped the 1. It was probably close to 52,000, and I don't know why I thought it was 60,000. I think I said 60,000. That was wrong. Anyways, this is attempt number 3. Okay, I try to keep a pretty large gap. As you can see, it's about a 6,000 gap between Chaos Nornstones, that was 4, and Black Antimatter, because you don't need Chaos Nornstones for anything other than the Mastery. That's 5. I think they do need to give us more things to spend the Chaos Nornstones on, because right now it's basically just for potential and for Mastery, because you use Black Antimatter for everything else. That's 7. You use Black Antimatter to get them up to 6 stars, which costs thousands or tens of thousands, if almost 10,000 when it's someone like Silver Surfer. Nice, 8. So yeah, for Silver Surfer and them, you spend like 9,000 black antimatter to get them to 6 stars. For uniforms, like if we go really quickly back to, let's say, Thanos's old uniform that I haven't maxed out yet, this one, and we check it out, look how much this costs to upgrade. Yeah, it costs 2 of the teardrops, and if we go to the teardrops, 1 teardrop is 2 of these, which is 4 of these, which is 8 of these, which is 16 of these, which means that for the last rank up of the uniform, you need 32, which is equal to 1,600 black antimatter. So it costs way more than like 3,000 black antimatter to get this uniform to Mythic. So you're literally talking over 10,000 black antimatter. Not to mention that every non-mutant, once they get to level 60 plus, once they have their potential unlocked, then you have the situation. Oh, I'm not there yet. Then you have the situation where, and there we go, Mad Slaughter. Kind of a weird name for the achievement. But then you have the issue where you have to get their gears up, and guess what their gears cost? They cost black antimatter. So we definitely have more than enough places to spend our black antimatter, but not nearly enough places in which to spend the Chaos Nornstones. So let's take a look here. We're way overcapped on cooldown and way undercapped on ignore defense. How the hell did that happen? I don't know. So we're going to fix that now. We're going to reroll this to ignore defense. I really like this uniform, to be honest. It's very, very cool in terms of the way that it looks. Unfortunately, it doesn't function well. It's a really cool uniform for looks, and it's a really cool uniform for reworking the character in terms of making him a different play style. Because you have the clones that come out, or it's not the clones, the summons, the Hydra summons that he gets. It changes him to speed type. He incorporates some of the shield throws, kind of like Captain America when he's attacking. Wow, am I ever going to get ignore defense? So they actually did quite a decent job back in the day when they introduced this uniform of kind of transforming Red Skull into a completely different character. The only problem is that he just wasn't strong enough at the time. Even when this uniform came out, it wasn't a good upgrade. It didn't make him meta. It didn't make him strong. It wasn't really worth getting. I mean, I think I got it pretty soon after it was released. I don't know if I got it the first time around, but I might have gotten it the second time around because I just really like the look of the uniform. You know, it looks like medieval, right? He's got a sword. He's got a little dick plate there for his jock. He's got the shield, of course. He's got the hood. It's Dark Souls, you know? Everything with the sword and the shield automatically for me has to be Dark Souls. So I really like that. But it definitely wasn't worth it at the time, and it isn't worth it now for power level wise, except in the case of optional uniforms. So now we're at 40. We're still 10% over capped on cooldown. Okay, it's got to be his uniform then. Yeah, so we're gonna change. That's why we're gonna change this to ignore defense. Okay, we could change this to HP as well, but let's change this to ignore defense and try to get that cap. We're gonna try to do some world boss here, and we're gonna need that ignore defense. HP is probably better off as physical attack. I'm pretty sure he's a physical attacker. Actually, I should have checked before I started rolling it. Yeah, he is. Okay, he is a physical attacker, so that's good. And then the attack speed on the first one, we're gonna have to see whether we need to make that. We could make it attack speed, we could make it dodge as well, or we could make it cooldown if we need a little bit more cooldown. But right now, we're just looking for that elusive. There we go, and it's almost perfect. Awesome. So let's see what he's at now. He's still overcapped. Wow, but now he's good to go. Okay, so we can keep that at attack speed. It really doesn't matter too much. I'm not gonna mess with the gears. Let's just take him into some content now. I mean, this is not really impressive, but this is probably as good as it's gonna get from me. In the meantime, until we see what he looks like with a new uniform and a new rework. 42% dodge is not bad. He's got some dodge here from the CTP of Patience. He's got some all attack, so he's about 22,000, which is still very, very low. But we don't even have. Yeah, we're missing 60 bios. We can't upgrade this. I mean, we could, but we're not going to. So let's see how he does now in a fight against Proxima Midnight. So here we go. We're going to try him against the stage 25 Proxima. I have very, very low expectations, but let's see what he can do. We're going to pop out the Hydras. We're going to try to dodge here, and then we're going to get snared. Awesome. And then just see if we can keep the clones up. I mean, he can kind of tank the damage, I guess. It's just that the clones can't. So this is the thing with clones. If they have under 100% of your stats, it just doesn't work anymore against world bosses. Like, they just cannot take any damage because, I mean, you can barely take damage, right? So if they have less than 50% of your HP, they literally die in one shot. If you die in 3 or 4 shots, they're going to die in one shot every single time. So they can barely get attacks off in time. He can barely get attacks off in time. You know, to be honest, Shadowland is probably a better use of this character right now. As you can see, he cannot even do a stage 25. I would have to load him up with full strikers for him to have any chance. He has no, he has no guard hit. He has no immunity. He has no healing. He has no invincibility. He's got 0 defensive buffs. I don't even think he has any iframes. Like, he might be one of the worst characters in the game in that regard. His damage is super low. Like, it's really bad. It's really, really, really bad. And so he, like, more than a lot of other characters. I mean, Rogue wasn't even that bad. Rogue had immunity, and she had self-healing before she had an iframe. Her damage was just really low, and she got an insane upgrade. This guy has literally nothing, and hopefully he gets at least as good of an upgrade as Rogue. To be honest, I would actually want Red Skull to be the biggest upgrade we've ever seen. I would want them to go even beyond Rogue, because he definitely, he needs it. And it's funny, this is the 3rd character that starts with R that's getting a rework. We got Rogue, we got Ronin, we got Winter Soldier. The 4th character, awesome. So here in Shadowland, this is stage 31. It's a speed relay. We actually brought along Cyclops and Colossus because Colossus is going to give us 50% damage reduction. So as you can see, we're going to take very little damage. And then Cyclops is going to give us all attack and all defense. So actually that makes us even tankier. And this is really where, this is really the only place where right now Red Skull can shine as is. So hopefully they don't use this as a way of seeing his value, because he's going to look pretty decent on this stage. You can see he can pretty much solo this. I'm using insane supports, like wasting Colossus and wasting a tier 3 Cyclops on this stage is bonkers, but he can do it because he gets a 3-second stun every 6 seconds. He's got the clones here that he can pop that will also just, you know, distract and do damage for him and take aggro away. So you can lock down Shadowland opponents, but hopefully this is not used, because this is really a false representation of the character's value. Yeah, he's decent for some low-level Shadowland, but that's pretty much it. So I wanted to go back and see if he could actually do this solo without any supports, because that was actually a little bit too easy. So we're going to start with the 4, go into the 5. But yeah, talking about the difference between Rogue and Red Skull and just realizing how much worse he is, especially for something like World Boss. Especially in World Boss, he was so incredibly bad. Literally 0 defensive abilities. The clones don't take aggro. I mean, and they can't survive against World Boss anyways. He's not going to be able to do anything in Giant Boss Raid. Literally, Shadowland is the one and only game mode where he can do anything at all. I mean, he's featured as a villain in story mode, but he's not playable. So yeah, they really need to give him like Rogue Extreme. I don't even think a Rogue rework is good enough. I think he needs to go higher than that. But if you want to work on, if you want to, play with your Red Skull now, and if you want him to do a little bit of work, take him into some low-level Shadowland against a blast relay like this, and he can do work. He can lock down opponents because he just has that many hits, and the stun actually really does help. And there you go. I mean, it's a lot of investment. It's a CTP of patience, but he can at least basically solo a stage 31 Rumble, and he can probably go a little bit higher, to be honest. Given my cards and given my build, he could probably go into the 40s, which is not bad, but Shadowland is not the measuring stick for characters nowadays. The measuring stick for characters is Giant Boss Raid, especially Galactus, and, like stage 40 to 50 to 60 of World Boss. Not even being able to clear stage 25 of World Boss with a healing striker and a support like Shuri is embarrassing. These are the toilet tier characters. 0 defensive abilities, 0 self buffs, 0 iframes, just complete garbage. It's not even, you're not even in the same game anymore. It's wild when you compare a character like this who literally has nothing. He's got a 2-second energy shield. I'm so sorry. He's got a very, very strong defensive buff. So you compare a character like this who has literally nothing, and then you compare him to a character like, you don't even have to compare him to a character like Silver Surfer, who's native tier 2, but just take a character that was released recently, like Slapstick. Okay, I know Slapstick is a paid character, but Slapstick is a tier 1 character. Look at all these abilities. Like, immunity, chance to penetration, like penetration chance and immunity and damage and a stun. We've got more damage here. We've got a revive passive. We've got, what is this? All defense down, healing, super armor, all defense for yourself, and a crazy attack buff with crit rate. Oh, oops. And then what's that on his 5th skill? Invincibility for 6 whole seconds plus accumulation. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. He has more abilities and more utility in one skill than Red Skull has, and Red Hulk in his entire, in the entire kit for 2 kits. You can count both kits. So yeah, hopefully in like a week when I get my hands on the APK, we will be all drooling over this insanely powerful new Red Skull uniform. I'm really excited for that, and that's why I wanted to dump these resources into him preemptively. But yeah, that warning, that PSA at the beginning of the video was not a joke. Do not do this unless you absolutely love the character or you have, tons of resources to spare. So let me know what you think of his work in Shadowland and his lack of work in World Boss, and how shocked you are with how garbage his skills are and his passives and everything. Hit me up in the comments down below. I didn't even get into the fact that he has a really interesting tier 2 passive for PvP. He does have increased damage against superheroes by 120%, and he decreases the damage he receives from superhero types. So he could potentially be a PvP monster, especially against Jean Grey, if they really rework him hard. you know, more than Rogue, and they keep him as a speed type. So it's going to be really interesting and really exciting to see if they make him into a blast type. At worst, he'll still be a perfect counter for Apocalypse. So yeah, there could be big things, huge things on the horizon for the Hydra leader, Red Skull. Hit me up in the comments one more time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.